Evening, everybody. 2 minutes, well, just under 2 minutes to go. Good to see so many of you in already. Whilst you're waiting, there is a poll running on there right now. Make sure you cast your vote while the countdown is almost over. 1 minute 40 to go. Welcome, MJ. Another season in the history books indeed. Season 60 now, almost over. Robert, welcome. Liam, good to see you. Bengo, Paws and Putts in the house. Welcome, Ed. Enjoyed the wins. I hope we'll talk about that coming up. Jacob Salter's got tequila at the ready. Tom Ballinger, welcome. Nate, good to see you as well. Alan, yeah, it is still free to hit thumbs up. Don't forget, hit those thumbs up while you're waiting as well. KB Chef, welcome. Cameron, good to see you as well. If you're new here, very, very warm welcome. You need to be subscribed to chat. Anto, good to see you as well. I think I've got everybody. Don't forget to cast your vote. Favourite tournament of season 60. 50 seconds to go. Lewis, welcome. Michael Hamilton, good to see you. Alan Gregg, good evening. Arski, good to see you, buddy. Kevin as well. Nice to see some new names as well. Heather, a very warm welcome. Heather, good to see you. Nana, good to see you as well. Fellow bunker bouncers. Like it. 20 seconds to go. Gidders, good evening. Good to see you. Richard B, waving right back at you. 10 seconds. Russman, very well, thank you. Hope you're doing as well. John Boy as well, good to see you as well. Here we go. Hello everybody, here we are. We are now live. Hopefully you can hear me all very clearly, and good evening as usual. Joining us here very kindly from Sweden, Golf Clash Tommy. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I can see my headphones looking absolutely weird. I'm fine. Thank you for having me as always here, Ben. Appreciate that. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. It's been a lovely kind of summery day here in the UK. It's a bank holiday weekend as well, so everybody's got tomorrow off because it was the coronation yesterday. So yes, a little bit different. 2 May Day bank holidays. So there we go. Please, a thumb up from you all in the chat would be wonderful. 70 people in already. Don't forget you need to be subscribed to take part in the live chat to register your feedback. As usual on the end of season show this time, so we couldn't do one last month. Look back at last season. We'll be looking at the tournaments, stuff that's new, stuff that's coming up. There'll be a couple of polls, couple of questions. You can give your thoughts and feedback on the game that we all love, Golf Clash. Longest drive competition winner will be announced. And we'll be looking ahead some previews for season 61, as if it's been that many already. Season 61 previews. If you're not joining us live, there will be timestamps in the description down below, and they'll be put on after we finish. Don't forget to be active in chat, or we'll be displaying some of your messages on screen as well. So keep your feedback coming. Who have I missed in the chat? Perth Saint, welcome. Martin Pendry, Jeffrey B, Pazzo as well. Thank you very much for the kind words. Alexis, Air Jeff, aloha. Jeff, hope you're doing well. So there we go. You know, we're all here and we're all ready to go. Have we had any questions already? Cameron Farrow has got one here. Can I get this on the screen? Is it going to work? Come on, come on. Any more PGA courses? Surprised the major was a fake one. Thought they'd all be real ones now. We had a poll on that actually on the group, and it was kind of as things are. People like a couple of real life ones, and people like them created ones as well. And I think if that continues, it'll be nice. What are your thoughts on that, Tommy? Mixture is the way forward.
Yeah, I think so. Like in the end, though, like I think the excitement with the major in itself is kind of like, I don't know. It's so the excitement for people, I think, is different. Let's put it that way. Like for me, I see that as a challenge, or because I want the medal. I don't really care what course it is, but I could definitely see different perspectives out there. But I mean, a mix, I think, would be the best. I think that would please everyone in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. Kieran, welcome. Good to see you as well. Who have we got here? Robin. John Boy's coming in with... I get this quite a lot, actually. Any word on new Centurion balls? Much needed. Yeah, that is something that I get asked quite a lot. I fed it back. Is there going to be a brand new prize next week? No. But I think they have acknowledged that the stats on that now, as we're kind of 60 seasons on, maybe are slightly less desirable. I don't know what's going to happen with that, and I don't know when. I would like to think that something else would happen with clans as well. It would be nice to do that, and then as part of that, an upgrade to the prizes would be good. So the feedback has been passed on. So that's all all we can do at this stage. Alexis, question here. I've got some good questions coming in. Do you think they will ever add time onto shot clocks? I don't think so, and I would kind of be hesitant to do that, because I think at the moment, as we've mentioned it previously, time is of the essence. Nowadays, now we're out of COVID and we've not got lockdown. It's difficult for people to practice, definitely tournament players, to put the practice in, which you really need to do, don't you, in the tough brackets. So I think the shot clock's good at the moment.
I agree. I guess the question is, like, if I understand the question, is it to add more time to the shot clock, or no? Did I misunderstand
I
that?
think that's the yeah. Do you think they will ever add time onto shot clocks?
Or I could have maybe read the question. I truly think that the shot clock is a good thing. That adds an element of skill to it. I mean, I can see the point with, especially how technical everything is getting at the moment, that, I mean, having a couple of extra seconds would be helpful, but we need to have in mind that then it would take even longer to play the game, as, I mean, that's kind of what we in the end are kind of complaining about. So, I mean, I get there is mixed feelings about that, but I definitely think the shot clock is a needed thing. I would be surprised if they would change that, to be honest, in my opinion.
Tournament vote. So we'll recap what we had. Michigan Lynx, that seems like a while ago. The old Waterfield Suns. Followed by Sunshine State. Followed by New Course Spring Major. Followed by Strong Winds Wells Fargo. Quite a tough mix, really, looking back. Obviously, Mexico is winning at the moment with 60%. But those others, are fairly tough. What was your thoughts overall?
One of the toughest and the stupidest seasons we've ever had, in my opinion, from a tournament perspective. I looking at the Michigan Lynx with the Waterfield Sounds, and then Sunshine State with the Old Bridge, like, yuck, honestly. The Spring Major was fun, and then obviously the extra win. I don't think we have had a tougher season ever. If looking at overall with tournaments, it's like I used to say in an ironic way or sarcastic way, maybe, that, I mean, it almost feels like they are doing it tough as they can, to see how many of us that don't want to play tournaments again after that. No, but that's super tough combination. I mean, the Spring Major wasn't easy either. It was just more fun, but overall super tough season tournament wise, I must say.
Yep, 58% going for Spring Major, Wells Fargo 19 actually, Michigan Lynx 12, Sunshine State 9-hole cup 10%. So we'll end that one there. So Mexico then, I really liked looking at a lot of shots that people were creating here. I saw some weird and wonderful stuff. What did you enjoy it? Was it a nice one for you? And let me know in chat what you thought about Sierra Plateau as well. Very good feedback on the Facebook group about it.
Yeah, I personally think, like, when I was looking at it to a start, I was like, yeah, maybe not, kind of. But I ended up enjoying it a lot. One of the new courses that I've enjoyed the most, I would say. I really have some love for Yangtze Gardens, which is probably my favorite of the most recent new ones, if we can call it like that. But this was definitely a nice one. I do think so, because it did. I can obviously only look at it from mainly from a shot creation perspective, but also then to try to execute. The only hole really that I would say was maybe a little bit over the top was that one that is coming now for me. I know I'm a little bit after hole number 4.
Hole 4, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was maybe a little over the top, personally. Like not just in master, but in general with those massive drops, it kind of forced us to go for like a rough bump. I would say, sure, you could bounce on the fairway before and stuff, and still, but that was like, what did you drop that 1 in 50 or 1 in 100 maybe? But and then the rough bump you couldn't zoom in properly, becomes a lot of guess, and I do think a lot of people did miss the rough there. So yeah, other than that though, I truly enjoy, and I must say as well, after being a bit frustrated about that recent term, I think that the wind setups was also really good,
Nice.
from QR to opening a weekend round, because they could have given us like a straight headwind on hole 6 or hole 9. I'm thinking mainly 13 now. I would say that from the other tees they were makeable anyway, but from the 30, I mean, giving us a chance on every hole is nice, even though it was some tough winds, but it was not like stupid, I would say. So they're definitely well done on that, in that regard, I must say.
Yeah, I particularly like the one that's in the background now, number 8.
Mhm.
You know, you saw so many different approaches on that, and hole 6 actually, and that was, you know, when I did some kind of early testing on that course in the first stages, that was the feedback I had, was that on those holes, I really enjoyed the different options. You know, and those elevations came in quite early on. Sometimes, you know, with the testing, it's you don't know what the elevation is going to be, but those were put in, and I said, well, that's great. You know, a tougher drive for an easier approach, or an easier drive but an approach with more elevation, and that was really great. Really, I like to see the different shots people were doing, because there was a lot of different people were playing different shots.
I think you're absolutely spot on with that. Like hole 8 was a typical example of that. And I mean hole 6 as well, like you mentioned. Like I remember hole 8 or hole 17 as it was in master, where we had more or less a straight tailwind. But in the end, though, like the send it became a possibility, but the fairway made it tricky. And then kind of like in the end, there were so many different. There was sand bumps. There was backspin shot from the left. There was standard, you know, short iron shot from the right. There was send it. So many things. I think now when you said that, I think that was definitely something we discussed also on Discord many times, that many of the holes were like, okay, you're gonna probably see many different alternatives here,
Yeah,
which all of them will be good, because it's just different. Hole 5 was also a typical one where it could either go left, or it could go center, it could go right. I mean, so many different ways of doing so, which obviously in the end became like, okay, you need to stick to one, make sure that it's perfect, because it's so easy then as a player to look to your friend. On your friend is playing slightly different. Oh, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that, because there's so much influence. So that's superb in that regard, I must say.
yeah. No, I think it's nice. You know, if holes can be played in a load of wind angles and there's different routes. It's kind of a different thing to having a load of fairway. It's like, is the fairway useful? And obviously on some of the old courses, there's fairway there we'd never really play on.
Yeah.
So actually to have a few routes there that came in, a lot of good comments about the graphics as well. Really like the design, and I think a few people, which I'm particularly pleased about, like the Sequoia Creek style trees. Which was nice, because I kind of mentioned that very early on. I said, you know, when they were mentioning trees, I said, I really like the Sequoia trees that you could zoom in.
Yeah.
I said, you know, is it possible to do that again? I mean, I know nothing about how they do it, and I was thinking, oh, this could be a 3-month process of trying to put those trees in. But it worked, and I think people appreciated that as well, because it just means you can adjust, and they're still nice features. And yeah, there was sign bumps. There was some
Yeah.
A tree ricochet rough bump, which was a bit mad from Josh. Got the shot of the week, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just like obviously shout out to George for that one, but in general, I must say the pixels that is doing shots literally every tournament. Massive shout out to him, in my opinion, because it's so fun. I mean, that he is willing to waste balls to have some fun. I think
I think
that's
there was
brilliant.
a
I mean,
brick bump on, wasn't there, today? I saw a
yeah,
brick bump on hole 8 of Quail Hollow. That's on the Facebook
yeah.
group if you've not
I
seen it.
I think he's like it's not his best creation if you can rank it like that. It's still amazing, but I mean he had some yeah he has some really amazing stuff. And I mean that's adds more fun to that, I must say. So it's super cool to see, especially on a new course as well that we don't know that well. It's like wow, it's amazing.
Let's take a couple of comments here. What about having the option to delete hole explosions and tees that we don't want? What are your thoughts? I think actually something like the balls, if you could pin a few that you use regularly and maybe order them, like I'm thinking practice token ones, like just to order them in priority, that might be nice. Something to explore there, kind of like a feature, you know, pin the ones you like you can pin the balls. Interesting point though. What else have we got here? Here's one. Here's a good one. Jeff, when will they get rid of the impossible putt or add a putter upgrade? Putter is the only club that is still beginner and impossible putts don't belong in the game. Thoughts on that? I would think that definitely in the new courses that like the impossible putt thing has been much less frequent. And I think, you know, in time, I would definitely be pushing for some of the older ones like Namhay Cliffs 1, where you've got the island bounce over and you can just trickle on the green. You know, I think there's definitely some tweaks to be done there. I think it's better to tweak the greens than the putter. I think some of the greens are just, now we've had a load more courses recently, some of the old greens are ridiculously big.
Yeah.
You know, and don't really need to be from a whole design point of view. I don't think they need to be that big now that we've got obviously 4 times the amount of courses in the game. So that's what I would say on that. Is this chat going to let me scroll down? Yes. Right, what have we got next? Vicky, welcome. Good to see you. Tanner as well. If I've missed anybody, very warm welcome. And rest assured, I read every message. I may not be able to read them out, but they are all observed, definitely by myself and most likely by a few others as well. So keep the messages coming. Quail Hollow, strong wind modifier. Was it more fun than Porthello Cove with strong winds?
You know, I would have, yeah, I don't know. I think Porthello was better because we went into it with like an open mindset or open mind or whatever it's called. At least for me, but I ended up despise that type of modifier in the opening round. I don't know. I think it's the same. This is definitely my least favorite modifier. It pushes to use the best balls. It pushes people to use the best clubs. I mean, obviously, in the end, I personally get an advantage over that in the final round because I could go in and literally play very, very few practice shots in the final round and still manage to get 2 golds and a silver, but no, not my favorite at all. What do you think about that then? By the way, just mute me quick. I need to run into Matteo.
Yeah, no worries. For me, I thought it was a much nicer course to be doing, strong winds on. I saw a lot of people thinking there would be headwind everywhere, which on hole 3, I think would have been far too unkind. But the winds were nice. Send it. We've got a couple of ones here as well. Eddie, the tourney was a bit mad, seeing insane shots. My clan loved the wind mod. We're going to look at the longest drive because we had a little competition on that. So we'll have a look at that. And Brown Wolverine, welcome. The wind modifier and seeing tailwind on 3 Quail Hollow was the only reason I played Master. That was fun. Yeah, I mean, I think that was nice, really, just to have the opportunity to blast it down there and to get an albatross on that one, which even with tailwind in normal wind strengths may not be something that you're always going to try and get an albatross on. So I think that was nice, really. Decent, generous wins. And I know quite a few people, I was lurking in a few streams, and some people had done free-to-play expert, free-to-play, actually free-to-play master, and knocked a few katanas and titans down there with the tailwind and got themselves 7 luminaries. So from that point of view, it's, that kind of helped with those who wanted to go free-to-play. They could kind of tap a titan down there and get fairly close with a 22 mile per hour wind.
Yeah, it again, you know, like someone said, or you said as well, the wind. Oh, the wind, the wind was truly set in a good way, in my opinion. I think they nailed it that too. I was expecting some headwinds personally in the weekend rounds, but they were actually balancing that well. So it seems like they're thinking about it, or it's just complete fluke. I don't know, but I very well done on that, I must say.
Excellent. Sorry, I had you muted for a bit of that. I think
Yeah,
they got
no.
most of it, though, unless they're very good lip readers. That's me not paying any attention. Okay, talking of the wins, then, we had a longest drive competition. The winner is in. We're going to take a look at that, hopefully now, if this will work. And congrats to John Dunn, who won. It was a very close. Second place was Josh Cash, and that was 759 yards. And I think my attempt was 713, which I thought was pretty good, or 718, and then I've seen 750s and 760s. But there were a couple of nice glitchy spots you could get, couldn't you? You could get to 700, but then if you're lucky, you got another 50 yards out of it on this one.
Yeah. Oh, that's. I think I got 756 as my longest one. But I was thinking, like, to start, maybe we can get to green here, but this is such a long
So
one.
long.
Why?
I mean, here's John's shot, and it actually rolls too far. It rolls into the rough, but it's a brilliant
wow.
reverse slice. 766. John Dunn, congrats. Well done. I'll reach out to your messenger, small cash prize coming your way for that one. Russman had a 745, didn't bother sending the shot because he saw the 750 plus. So yeah, 766.
Amazing.
The winner on that one. Right, the next topic. Now, this is something that caught my eye on Reddit. And I thought this would be quite good to expand on here. And we've got a good crowd in here. So here it is. I didn't write this. It was somebody else. I don't know who did write it because I've cropped their name off. Suggestion to PD. Keep the wind direction consistent in tour play and tourneys as it is in the checkpoint challenge. More realistic and fair, quite frankly. So I think it's more about tour play than tournaments. Yeah. But what do we think? And I'd like to get as many on from the chat on this, because there were a few comments on there, but maybe not as many as we could get here. And this is something we could maybe add on the Facebook group as well. It's often easy to overlook tour play because I know a lot of the people in the community are very tournament focused. And some people might still be playing tour play. So what do you think? And we're obviously talking about not an exact the same degree from first to second shot, but an approximation. Like, you know, as it is in checkpoint, it could be plus or minus however many degrees. So what's your thoughts?
I really don't see the reason to change. I think, like, the more different the game modes are from each other, the better it is, because that becomes, yeah. I think if it's too similar, I think people are going to be bored quicker with it. At least going from one game mode to another game mode that is very different, or at least quite different. That's going to open up to maybe see it as a new challenge, see something new that you can improve, and just enjoying that for a while not enjoying another game. Also, I think I I don't think that is the way to go. But that's me personally. I'm also very curious to see um, what people think about. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on the fence with it. Really, I could see a lot of positives from it, which is why when I saw that post, I thought, right, I'm going to have that for the for the end of
Yeah.
season stream. It's a really good one, because I remember as a player, if you hit a good drive, your opponent's in the rough, and you basically think, okay, I'm going to win the hole, and they get a caddy wind and they can get there with the Nirvana. And then that kind of advantage of you hitting a good drive and they're in the rough, if they've got then a favourable wind to reach the green in two, that kind of reduces that a bit. However,
Yeah, of course, but I mean, at the same time, though, like tour plays is to a very big degree decided in shootouts, and I don't think you can use that as an excuse. That I mean, like, I don't think that excuse should be applied as, yeah, I lost the game by that happening on the regular hole. In the end, you lost the game because you played worse in the shootout, in my opinion. So I think that people are, I think people have the wrong focus when it comes to tour play a lot, focusing too much of what the opponent is doing. In the end, though, like it's nice to get some free easy wins, but they happen very rarely. And sometimes you get some easy wins if your opponent messes up and stuff like that. But I think it's the wrong focus in the end, and that might be me being, very harsh about it. But there's so many posts about those type of things, blaming this or that, and this, I think that type of argument, and people say like that's not how it is in real golf. No, I mean you're not gonna drive 750 yards either in real golf. So this is a game. So play the game and yeah, yeah, work on your game instead of bitch about the game going to be different. So yeah, in
right.
the end, I might be very harsh on that, but that's my.
No, I think it's a fair comment, and also it depends on the tour. I think if it was a global change or whatever, it would have different impacts at different levels. Definitely high up, I think people will be definitely playing more almost like tournaments. You could pull out an old guide and say, oh well, that's fine because I know it's rings from min, because I'm going to get that wind angle here. Da, 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 da. So it could cater a bit more higher level that way. Does it give people a better choice to plan club and ball selection? Potentially, but then you've got the shootout hole as well, you see.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many aspects with that that it's hard to actually have a good. I don't know actually. So it's yeah, I really don't know. That's why it's a good question. Like I think regardless what way it is, it's going to be something you have to kind of adapt to and work around, find a game plan. Because even if you would change to what the person that is making the comment, yeah, even if we change to that, people are going to, or like other people is going to complain or want it to be different. It's impossible to be the same. I just think in the end, keep the game of as not similar as possible or whatever, and then it's all going to be, and that's the best way to go, to have a fun game longer.
Yeah, I think it keeps you thinking as well, whether you're going first or second. If you don't know what it's going to be on the second shot, you kind of a bit of less planning makes it, I think, a little bit more exciting. But it was a very interesting discussion. It might be one we take over to the Facebook group. So if you're not in there on the Facebook group, I will put the command in there. There's loads of good discussion points on there that people, if you've finished your qualifying rounds or whatever, go over there, join in the fun. It's very good thing to have a chat about. Right, what have we got here? Let me scroll back because there's so many messages. I would suggest Phil V. Good to see you, Phil. I suggest making a modifier where it's a cumulative score with no cut lines. You know, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? You know, like like a different tiebreaker thing.
Don't you think that would be? I think the dangerous part by doing so, I can say first and foremost, I would love to have cumulative score, because I would benefit from it. So I would be stupid not to. But I think if you're looking at it from a bigger picture, there will be loads of people that goes into the weekend round and have very little to play for. I think that would create a situation where people won't be playing the weekend round, and we'll see 10 to 25 people just not wasting the ball, because what's the point? Obviously, the pay for play and everything, pay for play and stuff like that would be reduced in terms of that, I think, because then you can't have that Hail Mary weekend round from someone random and stuff like that. But I think I would like it, but I think it would be dangerous in one way too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Right, let's have a look here. A good one here from Seth. Question for you both. Would it be cool to do a 1 day only tournament, 1 round, special prize? I think that'd be great, actually. Straight in, limited time, go for it,
I agree. I mean, everything. I know I've been pushing for sitting goal tournaments and stuff like that for a long time, and I would love to see that. That's kind of like not the same, but very close to what he's suggesting. I mean, shorter tournaments basically, and just smaller prizes and stuff like that. I think I think it would definitely sell, and I think that people would be more inclined to play those type of tournaments than the longer tournaments in the end. I truly think so. Or I could be wrong, but I think so, because people would like, the quicker type of format in some way.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, so we're now going to talk. This is another one that I've had quite a few requests for this one. Who wants some of these Sydney balls or snowflake balls? There's been a few messages in chat already about this. Power 3, any spin, anything other than spin 0. Wind 5, precision, anything decent like 3+. Much demand for those, and seen a lot of posts about that. A lot of people reaching out as well. So yeah, the feedback has been passed on. Again, as with the C100 things, that doesn't mean to say that the next bundle is going to be a Sydney ball. That isn't guaranteed, and definitely these things are crafted and planned way in advance, and I see some great, it makes me laugh, but I also used to agree with some people before. Obviously I know the inner workings of it, that seeing a few things as like, I think it's somebody in the back room with a toy bingo machine with balls that come out, and that's how they pick the next stats, or they look at the ones that we want and then they make sure they pick the exact opposite. I mean, neither of those are true. But it does make me laugh. But the feedback for the demand for a Sydney ball has been passed on. Again, I can't guarantee a date, and even if I knew a date I wouldn't be able to share it anyway. But for those asking, hang on in there, and hopefully your wishes will at some point come true.
Yeah, it's I think that it was someone that said, I don't remember who it was, but it's actually quite smart by Playdemic as well, that just milking this as long as they can. They probably don't think like that, but if they would, it's kind of smart in the sense of when it comes, people that wants that ball is going to buy a lot, because they're going to be afraid of the fact that it would be a long time until the next time. So even if they would release a precision one ball, for example, people would go heavy on that one because everyone knows how much of a difference a precision one to a no precision is, on especially sniper shots or stuff like that. And then I mean, I think the smartest way to play this would be to release a precision one and then people go heavy, and then like 2 weeks after then there's a precision four and people feel forced to go heavy on that one too. That's I mean, now I hopefully this is not gonna happen because that's gonna that's gonna sting, but yeah, it's it's a ball that people want. I mean, the way people are playing tournaments, it's I mean, again, looking at Master, people are playing very heavily around P1 and P2 balls at the moment. And obviously, if it's Sendits or any P4 balls, maybe not like that, but very, very few P3 balls being used, I would say. I think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to scroll down. So my chat keeps jumping around, which is probably all the mad messages here. So, thank you for the kind words about my content, Tommy's content as well. Very, very appreciated as always.
Thank you.
Glad to help, really, which is always good. Right, our next point is going to be signs. Signs that are on the course. And this is another one that divides things. And the reason I mention this one because it was in the Sunshine State, and we had a couple of people message me about this one in particular because I think generally they're fine. This one I have mentioned to them, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a shift around there because a couple of people got stuck behind one playing the aggressive route, and that's hole 8 on Old Bridge Park. But
Yeah,
you know, I see a lot of debate about the whole sign thing. And I can see both sides. My take on it is you have to weigh up the options as you would if there were new bunkers there or if there was added water there. You know, you have to think, okay, I'm playing this shot. That is the risk. You know, if you look at your percentages, I guess. Are they going to go? No. I think it would be unrealistic to say that they're going to go. I also think it would be unrealistic to say that they'll all be changed so you can shoot through them, because then it's like, well, then let's shoot through all the trees then, you know. where do you draw the line?
Yeah, sensitive topic, I would say. I mean, those signs there was definitely a mess for a lot of people. Made that type of send it a bit more difficult than what it used to be. So yeah, it's a sensitive topic. I haven't been in a situation where it has been destroying for me. So I guess I don't really have much to add to that. But I kind of agree with what you say, Ben. But I can also feel for the people that I mean, oh wow, there's a sign there. Some situations are a bit silly. If I mean, completely missing the green with a what would consider to be a simple shot, but in this instance here, yeah, I can understand why people are a bit pissed that all of a sudden there are signs there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like if there's any that, you know, people feel that okay, the placement's a little bit too invasive, like, you know, this one, you know, I think it's a nice tweak there that could be slightly more forgiving for a great left, maybe. Then welcome to further their case to the team on that one. Okay, another one on the group. I've snuck this one into the running order a bit here because it was something that came up during the day. About tiers, and tier system is always a good one for a bit of a this is the party stream, end of season stream of divisive topics. I'm going to put a comment up by somebody. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. Some guy called Ankit. I've never heard of him myself.
I've never heard of him.
No, it must be some rookie player who doesn't know the ring system. Tiers should be reworked as follows: 100% qualification in tier 2 and tier 3. This is pertaining to expert, I believe. Reason being, these accounts are already above the tier 1 threshold. That's an entry barrier they have already surpassed and shouldn't be subjected to another one. The prize chest and clan points for 50th place or maybe 25th place in a higher tier should be better than gold in the lower tier right below them. Firstly, this brings genuine meritocracy to the whole tier system. There is no way that the gold in tier 2 should get better rewards than the top 10 in tier 3. Secondly, this is also a big deterrent to people purposely sandbagging their accounts to a lower tier. These changes will make players actually want to be in a higher tier as opposed to dreading it in the current system. This has had quite a lot of thumbs up on the group.
Yeah, it's just, in my opinion, it's kind of just a logic thing he's saying. So I don't think that's like should even be up for debate. To be honest, I think it's. I understand that the game makers want to keep the prices good in the lower tiers as well. But I think just everything is just a logic thing, and I would stand by that fully. What he's saying there.
Yeah, thoughts in chat. Welcome on this one. A few people agreeing already, which is good. And again, we can further this one on the Facebook group as well. Because I think, back when I used to play, expert tier 3 was really I used to dread that. It's like, and I remember quite a lot of the times in the opening round, I used to kind of throw in the towel at one point. If you made a mistake and then didn't drop a couple of holes, you kind of knew you were out, really. And then once you made one mistake, the pressure gets to you, and then you just play crap for the rest of the round.
There could definitely be some work, and I think this type of feedback, not maybe as concrete as here, but I'm led to believe that this is being talked about for a long time. We've had the tier system now for a while, and I remember when they said that the subject for change or whatever it's called in English, but I'm surprised that nothing has really been kind of tweaked with it. Everyone knows how tier 3 and expert is compared to others, and I guess with the data as well being collected on how many players are playing in specific tiers and stuff, it probably looks really weird in terms of how that looks in other tiers. I don't know how it is in rookie tier 3 and pro tier 3 and stuff like that, and don't get us started with tiers in master. But yeah, no, it's no, I don't think we will get this, but would be the best thing to get something like that. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but something like that would be good.
Yeah, interesting. Well, that's something I'm gonna have a little look at that. Obviously, I need to find, or I need to ask for a breakdown of the prizes between tiers, because I can't see those. So I need to refresh my memory of what those are. But it's a very interesting point, that, and I think if there's something that can be done just to stop people waiting to drop to tier 2 and then getting an easy banner, if there's kind of less incentive to do that, then it might be a nice balance. And also, I think the flip side of that, it could make tier 3 easier. Not ridiculously easy, but a little bit more tempting for those that don't want to make the jump to master. They could have a slightly easier ride there. So interesting one. Again, good to have the thoughts here. And if you're watching replay as well, head over to the group and either leave it as a comment here on the video or put your comments in on Facebook. We are going to look ahead to season 61 right now, and we're going to put the little background on there. There we go. Bit of a what's the word for that? Motocross racing. I don't even know what. There's a golf buggy there. I could see. Let me get rid of my logo for a start. We don't want to see that.
Looks like a monster truck.
A monster truck. That's it.
Yeah,
you can tell I don't drive.
Yeah, my son loves those, so that's kind of how I recognize. I'm not sure if it is exactly like that, but it looks very similar.
There we go. Season 61. What do we have coming up in season 61 before we have a look at some more questions? Tease 100% clan points for Speed Spark. Then we've got, that's a good one. 5 practice tokens there. That'd be a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Trophies there. We'll look at the whole explosions next. What we got here? Apex Blade season tokens. Are there any more? Oh yes, Nitro Spike for 10% coin. So the practice token one there is nice. I'm going to see where that is on the season track in a moment. And then the whole explosions. Let's have a little look at those. See what you're all going to be having a look at. Monster truck for 50% trophies. Engine parts, 18% coins.
Are people using the coin ones? Like, just an open question, really.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like when the entry fee was reduced in the tournaments, that people were playing the tournaments in a much bigger extent was very surprising, just due to the coins actually. So, it's so it might be that a lot of people are using that. I don't know. I've just never used myself, but would be curious to know actually.
When I used to do it, it was always the practice tokens really. Occasionally the season one, you know, if I needed to get a bit further on. Phil, I do like the addition of extra chest at level 30 for the season tasks. Put a premium in the bad boys. Like a premium ball, do you mean, Phil? Yeah, but it is a nice change that. We're going to have a little look at what you get. Because there's always a smattering of old premium balls in there. So here we go. Now, can you remember the needle overpower stability on that one? How well do you know these?
Is it standard?
It's +1. Close. +1.
Damn it, that's bad. I mean, is the practice token already on number 2? If you go to number 2.
It is on the paid track.
Wow. Yeah, but still, I mean, number 2 in the paid track, that's that's great.
It is. That's pretty strong, isn't it? Yeah. What about this one? Power slide ball. Oh
God, I actually don't. I don't know the needle. That I never used that ball. I think
plus
3
that one. +3. So if you're a bit low on Zerkas.
Yeah.
Fancy a bit more side spin.
But isn't that like a luminary with one side spin only, not Zerk?
Oh, it is. Sorry, side spin 1, wind 3. Yeah, 1 side spin luminary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's never going to be used by someone in Master, but in maybe Expert Pro somewhere there. I mean, power balls I noticed that myself when I'm playing Pro and Expert, how valuable balls with power is from the second tee. You can truly get yourself close to green and stuff like that. Definitely.
And the last one, Nitro Ball. Remember that one?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That must be a +3.
+2.
Not even close. God, but that one, that's a nice ball.
It is, actually. It is not bad, is it? How much is the reload, though? As there still isn't a token one better than the lawnmower. Right, I'm going to have a look at that then, if it will tell me. Can you remember the reload on the lawnmower?
What it costs?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I can't even remember the overpower speed, so no. I unfortunately can't. 1,700, someone says in the chat.
Okay, so this is 3,100 on that one, so not quite as decent as the lawnmower.
But the lawnmower only gives you 4, so there has to be some type of difference, I guess. I guess everyone with 5 is 3,100. So
yeah, true. Right, I'm going to scroll up a bit here. Some nice, interesting comments about tournament format. Yeah, that's also one that comes up a fair amount. You know, tweaking that. It's always difficult to find the time, though, isn't it? Especially on the minis. James from the Alamo City, have there been any consideration of discounts or additional perks for those who buy so many $50 or $100 ball packs? So, I guess kind of like a loyalty card thing or equivalent. It's an interesting one. I don't know. I mean, you get, obviously buying big packs, you get more gems anyway. But yeah, I've not heard of that suggested until now. Actually, it's a new one. Okay, so good question for you here. Are you not doing CPC guides? Is it going to be a CPC in the new season?
have been talking about that for a long time. But yeah, for the next checkpoint challenge, we will go live with that. There's already a video made, and as I said, like as I'm pushing on, and that I want to be very clear with, it's there to minimize people's mistake, and because we believe that making less mistakes will equal more wins, because many games are won by the opponent or yourself making mistakes. Obviously, if you are an experienced player that know the courses very well, that can go in with whatever club and whatever ball and still not make a mistake, then these guys won't be for you. But we will go live with this for the checkpoint challenge, for the next checkpoint challenge, whatever that will be. It's going to be included in some of the package. All the clans going to have it included, for example, and some of the other higher packages. And for the otherwise, it's going to be an add-on. But it's also going to be possible to purchase that as a standalone on the website. It's going to be $10, and it's going to be for 30 days uses. So it's going to be it doesn't matter if it's 10 checkpoints included, like that being made. You have access for 30 days and everything regards to checkpoint. So yeah.
Excellent. Okay, good. And I know quite a few clans I see, and I see some people, you know, when they've got fairly far on in the checkpoint track, you know, the clan points are good. You get some decent points from doing the checkpoint.
It's definitely the best way to earn rewards. Like that's the quickest and the cheapest way, in my opinion, to upgrade clubs. And obviously the clan points and the season tokens or whatever it's called as well, that adds on to that. But especially upgrading clubs, I mean, people have been running through getting loads of epics for that one, and it has been definitely a change for many players, I would say.
Yeah. And also, if you're a patron here with me, you will be getting, in fact, you already got it, early access. I've got some new videos on about club guides, having a look at what to upgrade, when to use stuff and when not to use stuff, and how to, you know, not upgrade things you're not going to be using and things like that. That is over on Patreon. Another special video dropping over for Patreon or YouTube channel members. That is straight after this stream as well. Looking also ahead to next week, we have... That's not the right thing. Where's how it's going so well? Is that the right one?
Yeah, it's not Drum or Links.
There we go. No, it's not Drum or Links. That's the one I want. Eastern Odyssey Tournament. What are your thoughts on that one?
I think it's I would have loved to see maybe a couple of others of the ones being chosen, but I did enjoy Shifang Basin a lot. Besides that, par 3 though. Other than that was awesome. The Kohong has always been okay, but it's gonna be one of those where like the par 5 of the Kohongs could be absolutely terrible in the wrong wind conditions, but could also be some nice send-its if the wind is correct, or if it's crosswind, it's gonna be layup. So now it's a normal hole location as well, normal wind. So no, I do think it's going to be a good week. I definitely look forward to that.
Yeah, that par 3 that's just on the screen for me, that Shifeng, that's a nice chance on the rough bump. So that first one is deceptively tough. It looks easy, and it is not easy, that one, that first par 3.
It was tougher than I think many of us thought. Like I don't think anyone really was going clean on that one, because it had some weird bounces and like a very high first bounce that made a real mess, really. So that was definitely a bonus going. I was not expecting to drop that one myself when I went into the weekend round, so that felt like a true bonus when I got that one, if I remember it correctly. I mean, now it's nice. Shifang Basin was nice. I'm looking forward to that one, to play those again.
Yeah, and I think it's good that it's not starting on an easier par 4 as well. Like to start with a drop from distance. Well, in certain wind directions, it's going to be a drop from distance. You know, quite a lot of the time you start with one that's blast to green, or at worst you've got the thorn for your eagle. Yeah, so it puts a little bit more pressure on that whole one.
Yeah, and I guess that's also like a wind direction thing. If you do get if we will be getting some tailwind we can actually send that one. It's not going to be a gimme, but we can still send it. But yeah, if we're having to lay up, it's either going to be a wood club from distance, or it's going to be like a very elevated long iron. So no, I agree. That's going to be pressure from start. It's not till we're getting into that chiffon basin. I think it's hole 5 or 6, like not in the tournament, but the course hole or hole of the course, whatever. Yeah, that's it's going to be a little bit of a relaxing one. But I think all of the holes is going to be tough in their own way. That's going to be nice.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more challenging than it first looked. You know, when you think about Koh Hong, it's that easy par 3. Okay, hole 8 isn't there, which is just a pain anyway, that downhill one.
Yeah.
But, you know, hole 4 isn't there, and that's a nice, easy one. So instead, it's hole 2 that's in there. So I think there's going to be some little challenges there. Even though it's a familiar course, there is a little bit of a few devious moments coming up, I would think, for that one. So looking good. So yeah, for me, there will be some expert all week. For me, master stuff from you tomorrow, isn't it? Monday. Are you all set?
Yeah, I do make some whole guides for the qualifying round, and then it's all down to what I expect for Thursday in terms of time and stuff like that. But it's generally won't post any videos for opening round, and I do have the stream on Friday, which people, if people want some free shots and stuff like that, just ask me on stream on Friday. But tomorrow I'm doing some whole guides, and for those that do want some help to get through to the next round, and then I'm just filling up with streams during the week. Is my plan. I have some standard playthroughs already out for those, with different wins, but just to get an idea on how to play the holes right for those that just want that basic stuff, basically. So.
Yeah, loads of good comments coming in about trading rewards, ball purchases, trading cards, wins as well. That's another one. We'll have that one from Scott next time, because this is probably, we could spend 20 minutes talking about that. Full tournaments. I wish they would change wind in expert like it is in master. Same wind opening weekend round. I think there's a fair few people that would agree with you, Scott. But I will put that on the list to discuss next time, because there's a whole new can of worms to be opened there.
Based on the time that, I'm just thinking, with people's lives and stuff like that, I think the changing the win from qualifying to opening round it's not really a problem, but it's once changes again for rookie and pro on all the holes, and then expert a little bit on the weekend. I think that could be just the same as in master. We get some win change, it's not that heavy, and people will be able to use the work they are putting into opening round, which is quite a bit regardless what division you're playing, to actually use that in the weekend round. I think that should be the same in all the divisions, in my opinion, but that's me. In my opinion. So
yeah, it's an interesting one, really, because I suppose, now seeing it from both sides, it would have to be a very serious business consideration, as in, the practice token or the revenue spent on learning new wind angles, would that then be gained back by people be likely to play more accounts or participate? I don't know, really, or spend more balls,
I get that type of argument, but I would think if they would try to do that one tournament, for example, I do think that people are less inclined to practice more when, if you're thinking about the opening round, which is where, at least in master, people are practicing the most because they know they're going to get some value for the weekend, but they're still practicing in the weekend round too, to just get comfortable with the set. I think that people is less inclined to practice if they know the wind is going to change to the final round anyway. Then I'm just going to get myself through. Tiebreaker is going to be whatever it's going to be, and then I'll maybe spend some time in the weekend round in the end. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because there's
I might
so
be
many,
wrong.
ways of looking at it, really, aren't there? It's definitely an interesting one. Definitely worthy of further discussion as well. So we should wrap up, I would think, there, I'm going to get myself something to drink. Next season stream, travel permitting for me, because I might be in a very nice recording studio called Abbey Road, which is very famous here, doing something for charity. So I may be able to share more about that next time if that session is all going ahead. Hopefully I'll be back in time. It's Sunday the 4th of June, the next one, so it's exactly 4 weeks from now. And we'll be going back over season 61, be looking ahead to a new one. Thank you all for the feedback. As again, if I've not read everything out online live, I've read it, and also I know the team do look at these videos. They won't be looking at them tomorrow because it's bank holiday, but Tuesday it might be staple studio viewing on the big screen on Tuesdays. They follow the stream and also the Facebook group comments with interest, so your feedback is being noted by several people. Keep it coming, because it all helps. It all helps consider. Tommy, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure as always. And everybody, good luck in season 61. Do well in the tournaments. Enjoy. And I will see you all live in 4 weeks' time. And between that on Messenger or in pre-record videos or on the Facebook group and so on. So thank you very much, everybody. Don't forget, thumbs up on your way out if you've not done so already. Will be greatly appreciated. We are 9 away from 100, so that's your final task this evening. Thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you soon. See you in 4 weeks' time. See you later.
See you later. Bye.